Rubik Gary Azarian. I'm a principal at Briggs Veselka in our forensic litigation support group and also head our data analytics practice.
My name is Baria Jiruri, and I'm a senior manager at Briggs Veselka in the valuation department.
So in addition to being a CPA, I'm a certified fraud examiner and I'm also certified in financial forensics.
I do have the CVA, which is Certified Valuator Analyst, and this is with NAGVA, International Association of Certified Valuator Analysts. I do have the CBA, which is Certified Business Appraiser, and I do have the ABV, which is Accredited in Business Valuation, and this is from the AICPA.
The CFE and the CFF, they both helped me in a number of ways. Some that come to mind is they've really helped me network. They've helped me give me credibility in the field, and they've also just helped me with my continuing education. So the CFE is through the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. So at an early point in my career, I was able to attend networking events through that organization. It was really different than anything I would attend through other accounting organizations since it was specific to fraud and forensic accounting. So it was an easy way to just network with other people in my specific niche. And as far as credibility, in the litigation support field, you're working as an accounting expert witness. So an attorney for the plaintiff is going to hire an accountant to be their expert, and then an attorney for the defendant is going to hire an accountant to be their expert, and they're both the plaintiff's accountant is going to come up with a number, and on the defendant's side, their accountant is going to say whether they were right or wrong. So in my experience, even though now I have over 13 years of experience in the field, I'm often up against people who have 20 or 30 or 40 years of experience. So they can always point to things like my experience as a sign of, oh, they must be right and I must be wrong because they've been doing it for so much longer. So having those CFE and CFF credentials allows me to be on an equal playing field, at least as far as our qualifications on paper. So someone might have more experience than me, but by still having those certifications, they can't complain about me not being qualified in those specific areas.
Usually when you're a CPA, you're considered an expert in any court you would go to. So that definitely the CPA gives you a little bit of uplift, having that designation. At the end of the day, all these designations are very helpful. It really comes down to the person's personality, person's soft communication skills, and then how you would connect with clients, with attorneys, when you're doing a deposition or being an expert witness. At the end of the day, these designations are very helpful, but it comes down to each, it differs from a person by person.
So, when I wanted to choose what I wanted to do, I attended different events through my student organizations, talked to different people, and I met some forensic accountants in one of my classes, and at that point I knew I really wanted to do forensic accounting.
This was really what I wanted to do since I was a child. I wanted to saw myself working in this field. And this was really my main motivation. And I would have not been able to do it without my husband's support. And really taking baby steps at a time during the process, because if you don't, then you're gonna have a lot of hurdles along the way. And, passing those hurdles give you actually sense of satisfaction. Even if it's understanding like a small concept, gave me encouragement to move forward, and then understanding another small concept and making sure that I'm not I know what's going on, and I understand it. I understand the concepts from back to back. And if there's something I don't understand, I would research it more. I would do whatever it needs to be done.
So I'd say the most interesting experience I've had, I was working on a case, and we got to work with the FBI on it. So we were looking at the case on the civil side at first. The FBI was pursuing criminal allegations, And then so they ended up wanting to use us to help them on the criminal side of the case. So I got to go with an FBI agent to a bunch of interviews he did, to meetings he had with assistant U.S. attorney, and ultimately got to see the fruits of our labor, and the guy ended up going to jail. So that was kind of the coolest experience I had.
Everything we work on is interesting, and I say that because I don't like, as a person, I don't like to do repetitive things. If I do something, I kind of come into a point where I'm bored. I want something different in every engagement that I'm working on, and really that's what I find in everything I do. For instance, I'm working on $1 billion valuation right now, and on the other hand, I'm doing $1 million valuation. I'm doing a company that has a little bit less than $1 million in revenue. I'm doing one that has 50 million in revenue. Each one is different. Like, I'm doing 3 roofing companies, and each company was different. Each company was approached differently. It is not a cookie cutter at the end of the day. It is on a case-by-case basis. You always need to use your professional judgment. And it is not, even if you have a model, when you have a model in valuation, some people use kind of prepackaged model and software where they input the numbers and then they have a value that spits out the value for them. It doesn't work this way. Even if you have a model, you really have to exercise your professional judgment, your educated judgment. You have to make sure you have sufficient relevant data. You have to make sure you do your due diligence. I do have team members that help me on several engagements, but at the end of the day, it is my due diligence as a CPA, and as with the other designations, it is my due diligence to make sure the work is done correctly. It is my due diligence to make sure that I'm reviewing the work, I'm being involved with it, and I make sure nothing is kind of falls through the cracks.
Yeah, so at each step in my career, I've had different mentors. So early on when I was in college, I reached out to the CPA societies, both the ACFE and your local TXCPA chapter will typically have some kind of mentorship opportunity available. So I had a mentor that was a forensic accountant when I was in college that I could ask those initial questions to, and they actually helped me get my first forensic accounting internship. So that was a big help to me, just reaching out, letting those people know I was interested in the field, and then I was able to start building out that network early on. And as time went on, I needed different networks in different areas. I knew at some point I wanted to become an expert witness, so I needed to network people who had that specific experience. So, but those organizations are definitely a great resource to find that network and find your mentors within that network who can help you expand in your career.
We do have a mentor program at the firm. So Sheila has been my mentor. She's the managing partner. And I do have mentors outside the firm as well. We have a new program. I started it last year, where you have a mentor and a coach. So before, you would have a mentor only, and that mentor would you would do your IDP, which is your individual development plan, and your mentor goes over it with you and gives you suggestions, what you need to change, what you need to do to kind of move to the next level. The past year, we've created a new program where we have a mentor and a coach. The coach would be your new mentor, and the mentor would be kind of like somebody who's kind of like your buddy, who's giving you feedback, who's helping you. Your coach would be your boss, the person you're reporting to. And the mentor doesn't have to be that. So now you have 2 people at Briggs Veselka who would support you along the way, so you're successful, because we want to make sure if you have certain expectations, we're providing the tools to everyone. You're not being asked to be successful, but then you're lacking the tools to be successful. Like if you say, well, I would like to, I like in my communication skills, we'll look at and see what is it we can do to help you improve your communication skills? Is there something we can send you to? Is there a training we can do? What is it we can do as a firm to support you be successful at what you do?
So in addition to just knowing the accounting, you have to really be a good communicator to work in this line of work. So, as a expert, you're in the courtroom, you're having to talk to a judge and a jury, to attorneys, and especially in matters of fraud, you're also having to explain to whoever got defrauded. Oftentimes it's a business owner, and all of those people, they're usually not accountants. So you can't explain things to them in debits and credits. You really have to be able to explain it to them in a way where they really understand. So breaking down the detailed financial accounting analysis that you did and being able to then explain it in a way to people where it makes sense to them. So I would say with forensic accounting, I typically like to put it into two buckets. There's the proactive forensic accounting and reactive work. So on the proactive side, you're trying to prevent a fraud from happening. So it's kind of like internal audit. If you want to pursue that line of forensic accounting, you can start in public accounting, but there are opportunities in business and industry, whether in internal audit departments, or eventually you can work up to become, a head of internal audit or a chief risk officer or something like that. On the reactive side, that's more of what I've taken a liking to. You're responding to an event that's already occurred. So there is some kind of fraud, there is some kind of lawsuit, and you're helping put that fire out. And on the reactive side, that to work on that side, you have to work in a public accounting or a consulting firm, because typically companies won't have someone full-time in their corporation to work on those type of matters, since hopefully companies aren't getting sued all the time or having to sue people all the time.
Follow your passion, and don't second guess yourself. You want to do something in life that when you're doing it, you don't feel like you're working. You enjoy what you do. That makes a huge, because you don't want to just wait till it's 4 or 5 and then you're done. To me, the way I look at it, it's I really take ownership. You want to take ownership of what you do. When you take ownership, things change. You don't want to be just like a normal Joe. You really want to kind of stand out. And to stand out, when you take ownership, you do stand out. You're not letting things fall through the cracks. You're taking initiative. Be involved in several organizations if you can. I am involved on quite a few organizations. I'm on different boards. I'm chair for different committees, and that really makes a difference as well, because when you're involved, then you're more kind of updated before everybody else on what's going on, what's going to happen. Just do something where you stand out, where you're always if you work hard, it's going to show, it's going to be acknowledged, and you're going to see the fruit of that hard work. And when I say hard work, doesn't mean like you're working 60 hours, 80 hours a week. When I say hard work, what I mean is taking ownership, being committed, and taking initiative. That makes a huge difference. And when people see you have this work ethics, really it makes a huge difference what you do.